back again to show you how Celestial contradicts herself in real time. On March 30th, right, and I'm not going to read all this, we're going to have the AI do us the favor and take notes for us. But she makes a lot of these claims, right? If you want to pause it, you can pause it and read it. But something I will read is that she says the majority did not know or believe this war was coming, yet it was on TMV Prophecy blog since June of 2019. Going to war in Yah's eyes does not mean what the United States government is telling us. So she's making reference to her old prophecies. Okay, let's check them out. So this is one of the videos. It's called the cockfight, right? The cockfight. This was on November 8th, 2020. She posted it. But according to her, she received it on June 30, 2019. Look at that. She's making reference to June of 2019. Why is this important? Because in order to hold accountable liars and narcissists like this, you have to look at the detail. Otherwise, it will convince you of anything. So we know and we have established that this is one of the prophecies that she's making reference to. Now, we don't know if that's true, but it's what she claims, right? But I want to jump to the point. You can pause and read this, right, if you want. Right? I'm just going to skim through it, and I'm going to get to the point. Okay? All right, let's get to the point. Here are key differences from her prophecy back then and now what she's saying now, right? 2019 prophecy. She described the conflict as a skirmish or international toss-up. She specifically said it would be short and that it would stop just as suddenly as it started. 2026 Facebook post. She is now rebuking the idea of a quick rap war. Instead of a short fight, she describes a soldier severely wounded, barely able to stand, staggering only to collapse. She warns the U.S. will fight until it just collapses under international judgment. So already, contradiction number one. 2019 prophecy. At the time, she said that the loss of life would not be the greatest loss. The real blow would be to the America's reputation and invulnerable plating. Now, in 2026 Facebook post, she's saying her tone has shifted to emphasize high casualty counts. She uses a graphic imagery of a person torn by an angry pit bull with a missing arm. She explicitly quotes, "Tell them they are going to in numbers." So, contradiction again. Number two, the economic drain. 2019 prophecy, she mentioned the trade sanctions, a war of words, but focused more on the psychological shock of Iran fighting back. 2026 Facebook post, she now places a heavy emphasis on the financial cost. She claims active engagement. Moving troop supplies will take a measurable toll on the economy. Her quote, "Money will fly away," suggests a much more devastating domestic economic impact than her initial video implied. Contradiction number three. Let's go to number four now. She noted that the U.S. traditionally fights wars outside its territory, but warned that war would eventually come to this territory after a civil war. Now in 2026, she is now connecting the current Iran conflict directly to the home front. She claims this is no longer an at-distance war, and that the rooster will scratch the face of the United States in a way we feel tangibly at home. So which one is it? Because last I read the Bible, it says that God is not the author of confusion. So did you prophesy correctly back in 2019, or is this still correct? You know what this leads credence to? The fact that what I'm saying seems to be more likely. I'm pretty sure that there's some type of demonic spirit, some Python spirit involved as well, but this just gives credence to the fact that she's using her college degree to deceive the masses of her having some great spiritual status. And I'm about to prove that. Well, so, given her dual background in public policy at UTokyo, which she has a master's in, by the way, and law in Zimbabwe, Esther isn't using. So whenever she says that she did her time and she was a lawyer, it was in Zimbabwe. Okay? So anyways, it said Esther isn't using a crystal ball. She is likely using open source intelligence, OSINT, professional databases, and a network of insider informants to craft her prophecies, quote unquote. When someone with a master's in international policy analysis prophesies about a global event, they are often just repackaging high-level data analysis as divine revelation. Professional research tools. Because of her association with firms, premium news and intelligence feeds, tools like Reuters, ACOM, Bloomberg, Terminal, and she's still in finance circles, or Janus IHS Market. These provide real-time alerts on geopolitical shifts, crop failures, and civil unrest days before they hit mainstream news. Legal and corporate registries, access to Westlaw, LexisNexis, or Pacer. This allows her to track lawsuits, bankruptcies, and criminal filings against public figures. If she prophesies the scandal is coming for a politician, she may have simply seen the preliminary court filings. This actually tracks. I want to stop here real quick. This actually tracks because if you look at who she prophesies about people where you can access, like, how do we know when exactly the stuff with TD Jakes was filed? She could have seen this a mile away through all her inner circles. Once you see one rock, when a pebble, when you hit the lake and the lake begins that little ripple, you can already see where the ripple is gonna go. You know what else is interesting? She never seems to have any prophecies for Japan against none of the leaders. You know what else is interesting? She never really prophesies about anybody that actually matters, that would be above this OSINT level of open source intelligence. She never prophesies against who's really behind BlackRock, right? I would think that if you were this great death prophet, death prophet, right, that you would have inside knowledge from God, from that people who actually are behind all this, the people behind BlackRock, the people behind Rock. Give us some real names. If you're really this death prophet, give us some juicy stuff. Who's the guy behind Epstein, right? How come you didn't put out names about Epstein? It's always people that the public already knows about. I bet you won't make no prophecies about high ranking people in Japan. Japan got no sin going on. They don't got no evil going on. I wonder why you won't touch Japan. You're gonna see her done prophecies about India, Africa, South Africa. But you know what's interesting? She was a lawyer in Zimbabwe, so she has access to, and I'm approved. She has access to elite members of Zimbabwe in New York City, and that's a very tight-knit circle. So even though, like, if y'all remember in one of her videos recently, she was crying about how the lawyer, because she wanted to sue me, the lawyer laughed in her face, and now she wants to pin it on the American system, judicial system, why women can't get justice, playing on y'all emotions. And then she mentioned something very key. She says, even though I put in all those years, yeah, she had about 12 years in Zimbabwe as a lawyer. She put in her time. So they should help her out. And they laughed in her face, according to her own testimony. So if she's connected to those high echelon in New York City from Zimbabwe in Africa, it is no surprise that she can prophesy about stuff going on in Africa, and now she just looks like, oh, I am the prophetess. But you know what? You know what's funny? She won't prophesy against the leadership out in South Africa or Zimbabwe or Liberia. They don't got no sin over there. Oh, the government out there is just so holy, right? So yeah, I mean, it's weird because now she has two different versions of the prophecy of 2019, and now we don't know which one to believe. I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to be a believer. I don't know what to believe now. This is a book of Sirach 28:13. This is the Bible, what the Bible says. Curse the gossips and the double-tongued, for they destroy the peace of many. Why you double-tongued? Why you double-tongued? You know what else? How come she never prophesied about Netanyahu? I got so many questions. I was at peace, Celestial, and you just had to come with your double tongue.